What's the worst a camera can get? Is it something that just doesn't work? Or something I spent too much time, I'm willing to admit, making? First, let's take a look at what it takes to be a digital camera. It needs to take photos, have a display, and also be portable. After pondering the design for weeks, I realized that all it was a couple of wires, and that the majority of this project would be in the code. This is a Raspberry Pi, a small little computer. The most I've ever used this for is for running a Minecraft server. And now we're going to turn it into a revolutionary new way to take photos. The components we have to make this are a tiny little screen, a camera, a button, a Pi, and a box. The main problem with the wiring is that I don't have the right cables to connect things. And I don't want to buy them or solder anything because I have no money, and my breadboard won't fit in the box I have. What I do have? Duct tape. And once we connect all the wires, we should be able to press the button and take photos. So there's a problem. I don't know how any of this works. And from my understanding, I can either have the screen or the button. And if you remember from earlier, it needs to take photos, have a display, and also be portable. We kind of need both those things. This is a bit of a big deal, but there are a couple solutions we can look at. We can plug an Arduino in and have it act as a fake keyboard, acting as an interface between the button and the actual Raspberry Pi. While it does overcomplicate the electronics and steal more power from our battery, I was willing to give it a go. But I tried it with a normal keyboard before hooking up the Arduino, and that just didn't work. So we had to come up with something else. We could write our own way to display images to the screen. This could make it faster and easier to integrate, seeing as the Raspberry Pi has its own library for GPIO pins. Who am I kidding? That's too much work. We could also just look at the documentation for setting up a screen and realize that the answer was just there the whole time, and we didn't even need to try and come up with solutions, and we kind of just wasted a day doing, you'll have to guess which one I went with. Now we've got our terrible viewfinder as well as our terrible buttons. Now I could talk all day about why these buttons in particular suck, but I don't want to waste your time, so I'm going to fast forward to tomorrow, where I make the next amazing feature. Everybody loves film cameras. They're so unique and every photo is so quirky and charming. So if we try and recreate that but make it way cooler, we'll have like a digital film camera or something. I don't know. I reckon it could be cool. And we'll randomize it, so you never know how your photo's actually going to turn out. This is going to skyrocket in the lead for the worst camera in the world. This could be me coding, or it could be me looking for the best place to get a haircut. You'll never know. So there's a bunch of filters. I just stole random code from online. It's using the PIL library, and I'm not going to go into any more detail because I know you don't care and I want people to finish watching this video. So our camera's ready to take on the world. I decided to go outside and just test a camera in my backyard. I tried to take a variety of different photos to really push our camera to the limits and hopefully get some awful images. Yeah, this display really just does not work when there's sun above you. Let's have a look at these photos. We can access our Raspberry Pi through VNC Viewer, and it's just like a normal computer. These are all awful. I have no idea why they're all sideways. This one is literally just grey. I feel like we might need to change it a bit. So I changed up the filters. But here's the thing. I like making videos, but our camera can't do this. So I'm adding a new requirement. It needs to be able to film. But this filming needs to be evil. It needs to be terrible. It needs to be downright dastardly. How about we make it start recording randomly whenever you press the photo button? So you take a photo and it might start filming or it might not. And you'll never know until you actually check the files. It's evil. Let's code it. Yeah, that was actually pretty easy, and I don't know how to demonstrate it in this video, but trust me, it works. And it looks pretty cool too. Alright, so this is the part of the video where I'd show my friends and they'd be like, what? Or, dude, that's crazy. But my friends have already seen this project. I've been showing them while I've been making it, so that really doesn't work. I definitely have friends, don't worry. So I thought it'd be cool if we made a stop motion with our camera. Kind of like those AI videos where they keep changing style, but way worse. I don't have any ideas for a story, but maybe a love story between an LED and a button. That could work, I guess. So here's a little time-lapse fast forward of making the stop motion. Something you might notice, or all the film heads will notice, is I'm just straight holding this camera. All the frames move and it's not steady at all. And this is actually why the final result will be a little weird. Basically, I don't want the effects to be too intense. So I've lowered the opacity of the silly image and then put it on top of the non-silly images. But for some reason there's a delay between saving those images, and if I move in between that delay, the picture moves a little, meaning they don't perfectly overlap. Luckily this is just a short animation, so that doesn't really matter, I can just move every single frame, but it still has an effect. Now, the story here is that a button sees an LED and gets excited. They talk, but then she leaves to join a breadboard. He's bummed. But then the LED looks over. It's waiting for the button to join. He rushes over and they spend the rest of their lives together. This part of the video was originally meant to be a man on the street type segment, taking photos of people and printing them, but I just didn't have the resources to be able to do it. Maybe I'll do a part 2. The whole point of this video was really just to make something silly, and I achieved that, and I'm pretty happy. Okay, let's have a look, and I'll give a little epilepsy warning because it does change styles and colors do flash quite a bit. I did try to reduce the effects, but there's only so much I can do. I'll leave the code somewhere, and also subscribe.